Welcome to Talks and Views. In this video we will discuss eUCP Article 2. If both UCP 600 and eUCP apply to the same letter of credit, which one should we follow? This is exactly what Article E2 answers. Let's dive into the video now.
Article E2A. An eUCP credit is also subject to UCP 600 without expressly mentioning UCP 600. Suppose a letter of credit states, this credit is subject to eUCP version 2.1. It does not separately mention UCP 600. Does UCP 600 still apply? Yes. Whenever a credit is subject to eUCP, UCP 600 automatically becomes part of the credit. Why? Because eUCP is not an independent set of rules. It is only a supplement to UCP 600. Think of it this way. Imagine UCP 600 is the main textbook. eUCP is an additional chapter added to that textbook. You cannot study the additional chapter without the main textbook. Likewise, you cannot apply eUCP without UCP 600.
Article E2B. Where eUCP and UCP 600 produce different results, the eUCP rule will prevail. What does this mean? Most UCP 600 rules continue to apply. However, certain situations involve electronic records. In those cases, UCP 600 was originally written for paper documents. eUCP introduces special rules for electronic presentations. Whenever there is a conflict, eUCP takes priority. Example. Suppose UCP 600 requires examination of a paper document. Under eUCP, the presentation is made electronically. Naturally, the electronic presentation cannot follow the paper-based procedure exactly. Therefore, the specific eUCP rule overrides the UCP rule.
Article E2C. This article discusses the beneficiary's choice. Some letters of credit allow the beneficiary to submit either paper documents or electronic records. The beneficiary may choose either option. Now comes the important rule. If the beneficiary chooses to present only paper documents, then only UCP 600 applies. The eUCP rules are ignored because there are no electronic records.
Example 1. The LC permits paper documents, electronic documents. The exporter decides to submit paper invoice, paper bill of lading, paper packing list. Since the presentation contains only paper documents, only UCP 600 applies. Example 2. The LC permits paper documents, electronic documents. The exporter submits PDF invoice, electronic bill of lading, electronic insurance certificate. Now, both UCP 600 and eUCP apply. If there is any conflict, eUCP prevails. Example 3. The LC permits only paper documents. Even though the LC mentions eUCP, the beneficiary is not allowed to submit electronic records. Therefore, only UCP 600 applies.
Quick revision. Every eUCP credit automatically includes UCP 600. No separate mention of UCP 600 is necessary. If UCP 600 and eUCP conflict, the eUCP rule prevails. If only paper documents are presented, only UCP 600 applies. If electronic records are presented, UCP 600 and eUCP apply together. Where they differ, eUCP overrides UCP 600.
Question 1. An eUCP credit states that it is subject to eUCP version 2.1, but it does not mention UCP 600. Which statement is correct? A. Only eUCP applies. B. The credit is invalid. C. UCP 600 automatically applies along with eUCP. D. ISP 98 automatically applies. Answer C. Question 2. When there is a conflict between a provision of UCP 600 and a provision of eUCP, which rule prevails? A. UCP 600 always prevails. B. The issuing bank chooses which rule to follow. C. The beneficiary decides which rule applies. D. The relevant provision of eUCP prevails to the extent of the conflict. Answer D. Question 3. An eUCP credit allows presentation of either paper documents or electronic records. The beneficiary submits only paper documents. Which rules govern the presentation? A. UCP only. B. UCP 600 and eUCP together. C. ISP 98. D. Only UCP 600. Answer D. Question 4. Which statement best describes the relationship between UCP 600 and eUCP? A. eUCP is an independent set of rules. B. eUCP replaces UCP 600. C. eUCP supplements UCP 600 and modifies it where electronic presentations require different rules. D. UCP 600 applies only when eUCP is excluded. Answer C. Question 5. An eUCP credit permits electronic presentations, and the beneficiary submits electronic records. Which statement is correct? A. Only eUCP applies. B. Only UCP 600 applies. C. Neither UCP 600 nor eUCP applies. D. Both UCP 600 and eUCP apply, with eUCP prevailing where there is a conflict. Answer D.
If you are looking for professional training for CDCS, CSDG, CITF, ACAMS, CGSS, CCAS examinations, then you can contact Trade Hunt Management on the contact details appearing on the screen right now.